Hey YouTube, hey Young and the Restless fans, OMG. Spoilers told us that Sharon's quest for revenge takes a dangerous turn, and we certainly saw that today in a shocking sequence of events. So let's get into this really wild story that now involves Sharon committing a crime. Or did she? Was this all a dream? Or did this really happen? It looks like this really happened, so let's assume that it did. But we also have to keep in mind that because of Sharon's state of mind, that this also could be something maybe that she's imagining or hallucinating, like she's hallucinating, of course, Cameron Kirsten. And it's been Cameron Kirsten who's been encouraging Sharon to do these things, right? He's been kind of, goading her into doing these things. Of course, Cameron is all a figment of Sharon's imagination, okay? But Sharon is, of course, blaming Daniel, okay? And Cameron, in her mind, is convincing her to blame Daniel for this, okay? So, of what happened with Cassie years ago, okay? Cassie was a teenager. She drove Daniel home. Daniel was under the influence and was in the passenger seat, and teenage Cassie drove Daniel home. There was an accident, and Cassie later died, okay? So over the years, Sharon and Nick have dealt with this, but Sharon now is blaming Daniel for this. Daniel, Heather, and Lucy, they're staying in Genoa City. They live there, so it's kind of triggering all these memories for Sharon. And of course, we know that Sharon is dealing with her mental state and her medication, which she maybe she's not taking the right kind. Mariah said that she was taking her medication, but it might not have been the right kind, okay? There was a story on General Hospital where Sunny's medication was being manipulated, and I thought that maybe that would happen with Sharon, but it doesn't look like they're going in that direction. But regardless, Sharon is not in the right state of mind, and not being on the medication or being on the wrong, or it's not working, because we know they changed her medication, okay? But this has kind of led Sharon down this road now where she's hallucinating seeing Cameron Kirsten, and he's telling her to do very bad things. So it comes to this point, this climax, where Sharon goes over to Heather and Daniel's apartment, and she breaks in, right? She picks the lock. Sharon has a substance that she wants to put into Daniel's whiskey bottle, okay? And so Daniel on occasion drinks a glass of whiskey to relax, right? And so she finds the whiskey, she's thinking about doing it, she's hesitating, but Cameron Kirsten is encouraging her to do it. She does it, she pours the substance in the bottle, but then she regrets it, and so then she goes and pours the bottle out, okay? So now Sharon's doing the right thing, right? She's back in her right mind. She doesn't want to go to this length, okay, against Daniel, but on some level, Sharon wants to punish Daniel, right? Because Sharon blames Daniel for what happened to Cassie. But Sharon does the right thing. She pours the liquid out, and but then she puts the bottle back in the container, and then she is going to leave. And then Heather shows up, okay, as Sharon is opening the door. Also, Sharon was arguing in her mind with Cameron, and then she hit some glassware, and the glass hit the floor and created, shattered on the floor. And so Sharon had to clean that up. But when Heather came in, Heather noticed a shard of glass. And so she knew something was up and was wondering why Sharon was in her apartment. Sharon downplayed things, said she just came over to talk to Daniel, and that the super let her into the apartment, but Heather knew that that wasn't true, and Heather was going to call the police, okay, and Sharon couldn't have that, so Sharon hits the phone out of Heather's hands, okay? So now Heather, of course, is a lawyer, and, she's very experienced with, criminality and things like that. So I think Heather maybe thought that maybe she could argue with Sharon here, and but that wasn't the case. Of course, Sharon isn't in her right state of mind. And of course, so Heather is going to call the police, and there's this argument. So Sharon is trying to leave at this point, all right? But we know that Sharon is dangerous too, because she's not in her right state of mind. So Sharon goes to leave. Heather tries to prevent her from leaving. And then Sharon throws Heather to the floor, okay? And so Heather's knocked out. And then Sharon kind of passes out, or she falls asleep, but then she wakes up, okay? And when she wakes up, Heather is still on the floor, okay? So now I'm wondering, is this all a dream? Is Sharon dreaming this? Is she imagining this? We'll find out. But I think that this is real, okay? So then Cameron Kirsten now, who Sharon is imagining, okay, and hallucinating, is telling her that she has to cover this up. That she has to move the body and cover up the crime scene, okay? And that's what Sharon proceeds to do, okay? And we see Sharon, you know, hauling the body down the stairs, into the trunk of the car, over to the bridge, and yeah, yeah, so it's pretty incredible, okay? So she you know, drops Heather's body over the bridge into the river. And boy, I mean, how does Sharon come back for this, okay? We have to keep in mind, I mean, this is so big and wild that we have to keep in mind that this could be a dream. And you know what, I'm hoping that it is. Because if Sharon really did this, of course, she's not in her right state of mind. Are there extenuating circumstances in this? I don't think so. It's because it's still such a serious crime, okay? But I'm thinking that, okay, if Sharon does get caught in this, then she's probably going to be at Fairview for a very long time, okay? But I'm getting ahead of myself, but for now, Cameron is basically telling Sharon that she has to pretend like this never happened. She has to act like she's just as surprised over Heather's disappearance as anyone else. Okay, so now Sharon is dealing with this. Is she gonna break down and confess to the crime? Is she gonna continue to maintain that she wasn't involved or that she doesn't know where Heather is? Daniel's gonna wonder where Heather is, and so is Lucy, okay, and Phyllis too. And so there's an idea that, you know, what happens next in this story, there's an idea that Phyllis and Daniel will start playing detective, okay, and they'll start trying to figure out where's Heather, okay? And another thing is that's so kind of tragic about this too, is that Heather wanted to leave, right, Genoa City, okay? But Daniel and Lucy kind of convinced her to stay, and so if they had left, they would have gotten away from Sharon, okay? Sharon has this vendetta against Daniel, okay, because of what happened to Cassie, and Sharon's maybe not on her meds, so she's not thinking the right way. She's hallucinating Cameron. So it all led to this shocking set of events now, where now Heather is, apparently she's gone, and unless this is a dream, okay? But it looks like this is real, so we'll have to see what happens next. But what happens next with Sharon too? Is she going to be able to come back from this? Or has her character really taken a hit here? Is there a way to redeem Sharon after this? We'll have to see. It's going to be interesting, but it looks like Heather might be gone now, and we're dealing with this shocking mystery now, the Heather mystery. It looks like Phyllis and Daniel will try to find out what happened, maybe play detective. Nick is going to be involved, of course. Mariah and Faith too are involved. So, and we'll have to see if Sharon confesses and comes clean. But it's quite a shocking climax to the story, and of course it's still ongoing. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens next. But we'll keep updates coming on this really incredible and shocking storyline. And let me know what you think about what's going to happen next, and what's going to happen to Sharon, and what your thoughts are on this big story. So keep it right here. We'll have more updates coming on this story, so keep it here. And hey, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.